Hey friends, it's your host Steph Connell, lifelong goal-getter, betterment seeker, and both a student and master of making mindset matter. Through my 10 years of experience in coaching and leadership, I've seen passion and purpose diminish to form life's cookie-cutter mold. And due to that, you see the train of unhappiness get more and more bogged down. My mission in life is to get a rise out of you. Together, we are building a community of women who can not only voice their vision, but bring that to fruition. You are daring. You are valued. You are needed. And you are ever growing, my friend. The world needs our courage, and we are bringing it on strong. So without further ado, let's get to it. It's time to be bold. Hey, oh man. You know it's going to be a good conversation when I don't know what to say to start off. Listen, guys, I'm really excited to see you today. Okay, so today's conversation, I'm going to pull in an old dynamic that I had in season 1, where I had a recording of a, sometimes, you're driving, you're like, oh, that's where the creation mode goes. You're getting the visuals, it's quiet enough for you to be in your own head and process things. And I just want to take you on a drive with me today. A quick topic about victim to your circumstance. And I know this is not a new topic, but it's one that I just want to kind of indulge into a little bit deeper. And really, the whole purpose and intention of our conversation is to have things that are brought up for us. Not topics where we talk about and we can talk about what's going on in the world and how we maybe dislike this or like this and that fits for me or this, or the conversations that we're having are literally for us to dive in, think about inflection mode. Am I doing this? If so, how do I get better? Creating the skills and just building ourselves to become better. We don't get better by just literally being around people that are better. We need to do the inside job as well. And part of what I want to drop on the mic for you today, I love that, drop it on the mic, is have a conversation about victim of circumstance. And can we put our hands up? I'm releasing this into the world right now. Listen, we all are there. I don't want to even say have been there because it is what it is, but even currently today, we are there. 100% we all do this. I do this. And the reason I'm like, put your hand up if you do it. We all do it. Bless and release. Okay? Own it. We all drop the ball. We all do the things, okay? We all do it. And I'm not here to tell you how to get over it or move on from it. I'm here to give you pieces that come to me as I go through it as well. I am learning with you. I am becoming better with you. And part of becoming better is to release some of those things that have been holding us back in life. And a huge part, guys, of what holds us back, you and me, is our ego and playing victim to the circumstance. And I want to enlighten you and have a quick little listen to what I have to say here.
Today, I'm expressing a very unpopular opinion, but very necessary words for us as a whole, a community, a world, civilization, to realize the reality of something that's going on right now, something that's very real, is mental wellness, your mental health, but mental illness specifically, is something that's very real, very much growing, huge right now, from many things that have happened, which is an example of results of lack of preparation for stressors that will come in life on the mental aspect of it. However, what I want to address is how often do you hear someone discussing something like, oh, I'm sorry, I do this because I have fill in the blanks, whatever that is. It could be ADHD, it could be bipolar, it could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be a wide range of things. There's always a fill in the blank spot that somebody has. And let me tell you something about the problem that you have. The problem is not the ADHD. The problem is not the bipolar. The problem is not the depression. It's not the anxiety. Because my question to you, when you feel the need to explain why something is not going the right way in your life because you have X, Y, and Z, let me ask you something. What are you doing to help with it? What do you have in place to get better? Because if there is a solution to your problem, there is no problem. And if you live in the place of the problem, knowing there is a solution, or not even looking for a solution, you enjoy, your comfort zone is to sit in that problem and use it as an explanation for why things are not going right in your world. That is no longer a problem. It is called an excuse.
Oh, yeah. Man. Loving that. I love that a lot. I love that a lot because it's a very current happening. I'll put it that way. It's a very current happening in life where literally everything that we do is based on how we feel. And we should be doing first, then feeling. There's a habit in place that not only are we doing things based on how we feel, which if you feel like your emotions roll like a roller coaster, that means your life's going to roll like a roller coaster. Because if you do everything based on how you feel, it's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. How's that going for you? That doesn't work for me. You need to be steady. And that is a skill. I think in this season a lot I will address that. I know I'm going to, but as things come through, I will address and enunciate that things are skills. Okay? That is key that we recognize that. So being steady, if you feel you're up and down, and I don't want to hear yeah buts. I'm just going to lay it out as it is. I don't want to hear yeah but. Don't want to hear it. I completely understand and support. This is what I do. I support when people are going through things. Me too. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work for you to go through depression. It takes a lot of work for you to go through anxiety. But how is that going for you? And the reason I say that is because are you done going through it? It takes the same amount of work to go through it than to get through it. But right now, in this conversation, we are focusing on a problem that's at hand. When we get comfortable with going through it. And what I mean by that is we sit in it, we stir in it, we use it, we become friends with it. We're familiar with it, we're comfortable with it. It's become part of us. We've identified as it. we've identified that we have, like I said in the recording, X, Y, and Z, whatever that is. And I'm on the same page. I've got all sorts of X, Y's, and Z's. I've got them all. I don't have them all, but I'm there with you. I have had some, and I continue to have some, and I have chosen to get through them. And they come back. But what my purpose is behind victim to your circumstances, there comes a point where they've become reliable to us, where I can't go into work because I'm anxious. Please note that as I have this conversation with you, you are getting from me what I'm actually putting down. This is not a misunderstanding, that this is not about not understanding people and where they're at in life. This is about us becoming better. So if you ever find yourself in this position, are you okay with that? If you're okay with that, then your life will continue to give you the results that you're currently getting. And are you okay with that? What I mean by becoming friends with your excuses. First of all, we live in a life where it's taboo to go against them. It's taboo to challenge the excuses. It's taboo if somebody has a, and I'm going to say mental concern, emotional concern. We have ups and downs, injuries. Just like if you have a physical injury, you treat it as if you have a mental injury. If I hurt myself, if I sprain my ankle, do I go to work? Yes. If you have a day where you're super anxious, do you go to work? Right? I want you to answer that. How do you feel? How do you feel that people, are people doing it around you? Are you? This is where I want us to challenge something that's going on in life right now. If you're okay with it, you're okay with it. This conversation is not for you. And maybe there will be something to gain out of it. Maybe something else will be said. But where I want to challenge a current state in life is that currently we live in a culture where excuses are our best friends, our backup plans, our support system, and it's not okay to challenge it. That's the world we live in today. I have a really great quote for you guys. I'm just going to bring it up on my phone right now. Oh, where'd it go? Bear with me here for a second, because this is actually really relevant in this conversation that we have right now. Okay, you ready for it? So I've brought it up. Now, this might not be the original quote. I've heard it in various ways, but I hope you get the gist of it. And here's another thing. When I go to say this, it's going to say men, but the intention behind the quote is unity, everybody. Okay? So, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. So it's a complete cycle. The reason I brought this quote up is because right now I feel like when I say victim to circumstance, who you identify as a total, your characteristics, things that you are, introvert, shy, extrovert, I need to be around people, I become depressed if I'm at home over, the past 2 years, or, all those things, that's victim to circumstance. Victim, you are complying, you are leaning in, and you are falling into what is happening to you, whereas really you are the designer of your life. And so what benefit are you getting out of just going with the flow? And there's a difference between being an open person and flowing with if things don't go your way, being acceptable and trusting to life and its path, that sometimes we don't have control, and actually we never have control out there. We only have it in here. But that's the part that I want to address. And that is a perfect example right now that we're not controlling what's going on in here. It is a perfect example. If something is going on, if I'm feeling depressed, if I'm feeling blue, if I'm feeling anxious, if I have X, Y, and Z something, if I have some sort of health condition, mental, physical, whatever it is, am I victim to it? In conversation, do I say that I can't do something because of this? Then it has control over you. You don't have control over it. I'm sorry to say it, but it is what it is. And are you okay with sitting there? It's true. You know, for the longest time, you guys, I was very upset, and this seems so silly, but back then it was something, the way that I saw it, when I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, that was, I want to say 14, 15 years ago, back at that point in my life, I was very upset when that happened. And the reason I was very upset is because part of my ever being is feeling fit and healthy. And I thought to myself, and that was an image to me. That was an image of being lean, cut. That's how I saw it back then. And that's where I was at that point in my life. And when that was introduced to me, I was very upset. I was very upset because I told myself that this is what I have, and apparently there's no way to fix it. And all these things are debunked, by the way. But I told myself these things, and I actually sat in it, and I would use it as a crutch in case. So a crutch in case, for example, if someone says, if someone even, which they never do, but if someone ever, I prepared myself that if anybody ever made a comment on my weight, that I could say, oh, I have hypothyroidism. There's an excuse, there's a crutch. And that is telling myself, by playing victim to circumstance, you are telling yourself that you're already going to be there. You're telling yourself it's okay. I'm already preparing myself that there's going to be a time that's going to come that someone's going to make a comment about my weight. I'm preparing myself to be, fuller or chunkier or whatever I see that as. That's what I'm going to see. That's what I'm going to create for myself. So if you find yourself that you become anxious or you tend to have these depressive episodes, and guys, I can bring this up because I'm there with you. I'm a human being. You're a human being. We all go through these things, but if you're identifying as that, and that's part of who you are, and you think it's okay that you don't do things in life because you have this, are you okay with the results and all the things that are happening in your life because of that? And if you're not, then that leads to more of it. I mean, I'd be depressed if I wasn't where I wanted to be, or if I'm not getting towards where I want to go. I'd be frustrated, be angry, and then this is going on and this is going on. Like, I would be. So I wanted to use this conversation, today's episode, to have some really good inward thinking, like processing that with you. Are you okay with leaning on the excuse? Because 100% that's what it is. Like I said in the recording, if there is a solution to your problem, it is not a problem anymore. And if you continue to consciously use it, it's an excuse. And if it's continuing and there's a solution to it, that means you're not working on getting it better. And are you okay with that? Are you okay with being a victim? No, you're not. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be on the Be Bold podcast. That's not what we're about. That's not what you're about. That's not why you're here. So I hope I gave you some really great nuggets and something. Today's conversation was to leave you with something, to leave you thinking, to leave you exploring, to leave you analyzing, to leave you turning your brain on and giving you a perspective that maybe you would have never thought about before. Because oftentimes when it's current, because it's a trend, it's a thing that's going on right now. It always happened, but it's a big deal right now where people are playing victim. And the reason I brought that quote up is because there's a portion in there that good times create weak men. We have it really good right now. We have such a beautiful life. We have everything at our fingertips. There's opportunities everywhere. We have clean water. We have roofs over our head. And yes, there are challenges that come along with even those kind of things, different kind of challenges, hard challenges, but we have good times. Let's not let that create weakness within us, okay? Let's stand up. Let's own. Let's look at ourselves. Let's look inward and really see what kind of things can we improve on. And one of those things is when things get hard, when I don't feel like it, I really don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it because these are the kind of conversations I have with myself in my head when I go through little pity modes is I'm not 10 years old anymore. I'm not 10 years old anymore. This is something a 10-year-old would say. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like cleaning my room. I don't feel like doing my homework. This is time to wake up and see the reality that we're adults. Can we own that? Can we feel good in that skin? That we're in it. We're at that point in our lives that we looked forward and we always wanted to be. And here it is. We get a little bit of challenge and we don't want to do it. If that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. Have a good one. So listen, I really enjoyed spending these moments with you today, and I hope you did too. My gratitude is through the roof. But in order for us to make even more magic in this world, we've got to spend more time together. Make it your focus to connect consistently so you can continue to gain and change up your days to come. Secondly, we are a direct result of who we hang around with, and now you're in the world of becoming better. By sharing this episode, you are making an impact in someone's life, and frankly, we're just better together. And don't forget to tag me so I can send some love and shout-outs back, my friend. Until next time, this is your host, Steph, on Be Bold.